There was a dude who walked in who I think had just smoked a bunch of weed.
Just all the pot.
No, it's because he bought a bunch of snacks and then he said these were for the munchies. And then for some reason he asked if I was wearing contacts and was surprised when I said I was not.
But he's like, your eyes are like, oh, they look like there's stuff on them. It's like, no, that's just how eyes look. No way.
He
Dude,
didn't even
what
explain
are those
himself.
colors? It's like
a rainbow.
He didn't explain himself. He's just like, are you wearing contacts? I'm like, no. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah.
I don't know anymore. No, just look down at your hands.
No, I woke up this morning and contact lenses fell on my face and I forgot about them. I'm sorry.
I was never told how to get them out, so they're there now.
They're just stuck in there.
I just stuck them right in.
What if you had contact lenses in your eye, like inside the vitreous humor?
Ow.
Why? Yeah. That's not contact lenses.
That's how you get Sasuke eyes.
So you puncture holes inside your eyes.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, what happened? I've never seen that.
I've never even seen it. No, why does he have Magatamas in his eyes?
I don't know.
I've never understood that.
I just only know the Rugrats comic where
no.
You killed our clan.
God, stop. Oh, that was Tommy, wasn't it, too?
I think so. I'm not up to date on my Rugrats lore.
What you guys are talking about?
Anyway.
It was this really shitty drawn picture of Tommy from Rugrats, but he was dressed up as like Sasuke or some ninja from Naruto, and it was like this super. It looked like a bad OC. He had the eyes and like the headband, and he was saying some stupid edgy shit.
No, I think like someone else was like, "Why did you kill them? Why'd you kill our clan?" And he turns around and he's like, "To test my abilities."
Yeah. God.
Anyway, welcome to your Brain on Games. All of
that's your start. Why is that our start?
Amy, you gotta clear this bias.
It's a lot funnier when it's not planned.
Oh no. Welcome to your Brain on Games.
Do we really want to welcome people to this?
Yes.
No. Just say goodbye as they all leave in like droves. All two of them.
What are you talking about? Who doesn't like Sasuke?
Everyone already has their mouse hovering over the back button.
Fucking Goku for Smash.
No.
God, no.
Why are you doing this to us?
Oh my God.
Sorry. It's because I've reclaimed my title as king, so now I have to make everything bad again.
You know what? You're right. Did you ever really lose it? Let's be honest.
No.
It was just more of a title thing.
You've just enforced it harder now.
I just got a bigger crown.
Amy's the fascist king of dicks.
Yay! I'm the dictator.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that's my introduction. How about you guys?
Oh my God. I am the paper nest guy. I'm Bronson, the right-hand man of the dictator.
And I'm a lowly pheasant, Alex. Hello. The bird type, the person kind, I don't know. It's up to you.
Yes. Before we start anything, I gotta say I really like how this Discord call looks with two of our icons as different.
I was gonna point that out too.
And Alex in the middle.
Join us.
Join
us. DDD will never win. I will not
K-Rool.
Oh God. And please, at least Donkey Kong or Diddy, please.
Yeah, we got a match.
I might do.
That Smash trailer was amazing.
God, it was sexy.
God.
Sexy.
And the other one with the Castlevania characters. Luigi's just dead now, guys.
They killed Luigi.
Like
it was funny.
They murdered him.
Simon Belmont. I was gonna say looks hot, but given.
Amy's suddenly not gay anymore.
I just like the animation, man. I don't know.
It's very good. I like the fact that he has the NES like walking cycle.
Oh yeah, I like how they made the whip slow. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
it's
think
really laggy.
My favorite part was in the group chat. As soon as they announced Richter for Echo Fighter, there was just a string of comments like, "Who is this?"
Oh my God!
Over and over and over again.
Oops.
Because Soup wasn't online yet, and he's the only one who's played the Castlevania game.
Oh no!
We're all just like, huh?
He would be very disappointed.
So upset.
I knew who Alucard was, kind of.
That's Dracula's son, because it's Dracula backwards.
Okay, moving on.
I genuinely don't know.
I mean, now I gotta type it out, but I'm gonna feel stupid. Oh my god, it is!
How did you not know that?
I didn't know that because it's stupid. I wouldn't think just... My name's Dracula and my son's name is Alucard because I can't think of anything else.
Because I'm bad at naming my children.
This is my son, Bat.
I was looking for names for my son, and then I looked into a mirror.
I didn't see anything, but that's okay.
I stared and cried for hours.
I wrote my
You're
name
right.
on a piece of paper and held it up to a mirror, and I just saw the word Alucard floating in thin air.
It was floating. It totally captured my attention. Why is it the count? Why is he the count? God. One
Fighters.
shifty name.
Two new Echo Fighters that no one's happy about.
Oh no.
Insert all those tweets from that one guy crying over the fact that Ashley's not in it.
Oh God.
Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
I have.
I
So
stay
bad.
away from Twitter and shitty Smash Brothers fans.
I try to. Sometimes it's just really funny. All the Hey fans too. They're just like guy. I also saw a few really very angry Shovel Knight fans, and I don't know why because he's there.
He's the assist trophy.
He's that they put him in.
Yeah, what the hell? Be
Aren't
happy.
they indie game
over
rep.
him? Yeah, aren't they angry over him not being a character though, like a playable character?
It's because they got small penises. Next question.
Well, you can't argue with that logic.
Melee players have micro dicks, and that's a fact.
That's what the M stands for in Melee.
At me. Melee's an acronym. Penis. I don't know what the other ones are.
Stands for micro penis. Little.
It's just micro penis. EELE.
ELEE, Amy.
What?
ELEE.
I'm sorry. God made me.
You're a little dyslexic. It's okay.
Just a little bit. But you just figuring that out now? Have you ever seen me type?
Of course I have. It's just I never get tired of correcting you.
Thanks.
A perfect match.
Okay, I got a legit question. We talked about Smash already, but now that they're more Echo Fighters, do you have any Echo Fighter thoughts? I don't know, who do you think is gonna get in?
Oh, maybe they'll do some of the bosses from Donkey Kong Country for K. Rool.
Cruel?
Yeah, they brought back Karul. Would it be the original Donkey Kong or would it be Country Returns? Do you think they're gonna bring back the Tikis?
Well, I don't know.
Did anyone like the
it was-
Tikis?
Everyone liked that
so.
game quite a bit, apparently. So
Oh, okay.
I'm
The
pretty sure a lot
bosses
of
just
people were
seem
mad
bland.
that King Karul wasn't there.
yeah, they were mad he wasn't there.
Freaking
The
really?
masks were, but it was a good game.
It
From
was
what I
definitely a
remember.
good game. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, I still think they're gonna put Shadow in.
God.
What?
Oh God.
There's going to be an outrage if he isn't in. Let's be honest.
That's a good choice!
There's gonna be an outrage. God, no, I'm gonna Bronson, keep it light. There's gonna be outrage
how
in
you
every
feel.
shitty corner of this shitty community.
There already is.
Exactly. Just be happy with the goddamn characters you have. Ugh.
Honestly, I think the thing I want most is because I'm an awful person.
Hmm.
I want Banjo and Kazooie as an Echo.
Oh,
For Duck.
that would be like the biggest fu you could possibly imagine.
I love it so much.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
The funniest shit I've ever seen.
People would complain that Kazooie wouldn't be able to walk around with her chicken strut move, whatever it's called. I know there'd
complain
still
about
be
more than
complaints.
just that.
Everything petty. Everything that was petty.
I'm gonna get my first hate comments from that.
Nice.
I mean, fair.
Yeah. I was gonna think of more Echo Fighters. I can't really. There are people who are coming up with like full lists with like an Echo Fighter for every single Smasher.
When are we gonna get Shadow Mario?
Yeah, I would have liked that one.
Actually, that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. You used to have fucking McMetal Mario. Chicken McMetal Mario. No, like each ba is like from the Metal Mario theme.
Oh no.
Yes. You know,
I could get down to that.
You know what else would be a dick move?
What?
Waluigi Echo Fighter for Luigi.
It's like they don't even change the skeleton, so it's just like a really crushed
Yes!
Oh god.
He's just
It's
short
literally
Waluigi.
just the color change.
Yes.
Didn't they have that in Brawl? Didn't they give him a palette swap?
Yeah. He has a Waluigi palette swap. And mine has Wario one, I think.
I love it. Oh my god.
All of my Echo Fighter recommendations are just like really dick moves, like like Ryu. No, it's Goku for Ryu.
Jesus.
Everyone you want is an Echo Fighter. While Sakurai drinks your tears.
Slurp them right up.
Freaking slurp. I love watching
Make a good
people
shake
react.
with that.
I love people reacting to K. Rool's trailer because the look on their face when DDD does the thing, either they laugh and they're good sports or they just look dead inside.
Oh god. And of course, then when he actually comes out, that's just a major FU to them.
Yeah, oh, it's great.
God.
It's such a good trailer. I was actually trying to use the Shadow Echo Fighter thing as like a segue, but then I started thinking about all my
Yeah, I noticed.
I was hoping you'd bring it on chat.
I'd come back to it. My bad. I just really want to talk about Banjo-Kazooie as Echo.
That would piss off every Banjo-Kazooie fan and every non-Banjo-Kazooie fan at the
Except
same
for me.
time.
I would be the only happy person about. I'd be crying with laughter.
You're just big. Yes.
Yes. Sakurai, can I get your autograph?
Oh my god.
Okay, so the topic that I strong-handed into this podcast. I think it's strong-armed. Actually, I think the actual term is strong-armed.
Then weak-armed out of it.
Yeah. Yep. We're going to talk about Sonic, even though Alex apparently has nothing to say about it.
Yes, no well, Alex, what's your interaction with Sonic?
Yeah,
Give us
like
your whole life story.
I've talked about it once already. Sonic Adventure 2, Chow Garden, baby.
That's it.
Did you ever play the rest of the game?
No, I did. And I was trying to go back through it to 100% it, but then I realized, wow, it really sucks to 100% the game.
Yeah.
You can just say it really sucks. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
it's
halfway.
It's a decent game. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've never been super into Sonic games. Like, whenever I look at the 2D gameplay and the 3D gameplay, it's like, I'd rather play Mario.
That's valid.
Yeah.
You're valid.
But it's like I enjoyed bits and pieces of Sonic Adventure 2. Like, apparently everyone, or from what I know, a lot of people really hate the Knuckles and Rouge the Bat stages.
Oh yeah, because they fly around collecting the pieces or whatever.
Yeah, I really like that. And I thought that was kind of fun. It was
like
like a good
watching
change in
people
gameplay.
It depends on how much they enjoy listening to something bleep at them to find it.
Yeah. It gets frustrating with that. I will agree to that.
Sorry, can I just random aside? I wanted to search up Chow Garden just to remember which game it was from, whether it was Sonic Advance 1 or 2. But like while I was listening to you, I hit enter too soon, so I just entered like Chow, CHAO. And what came up on Google was fermented bean curd, which is apparently some kind of Chinese condiment which has a brand name, Chow.
Okay.
Bean curds.
What is this?
Take them.
And it's not related to anything else. Even when I go to Google Images, I get like actual Chow from Sonic.
Well, now I want to know.
I'm just gonna share some images of some of the good boys.
I'm sorry, I googled Chow, C-H-A-O, and the first thing that came up was Google Translate. Chow means floor in Portuguese.
Wait, I got something different too. Elaine Chow, United States Secretary of Transportation. What is this?
Choose your own adventure.
The best Sonic game, Floor Adventure.
This is what the Chow Garden is.
Floor Garden.
You watch grass grow.
Oh my god.
Dear Lord.
Oh yeah, that was a good aside.
I'm just really happy that that Tails.
The Chows are so good in this game.
Oh my god, that's so derpy. I love it. Look at him.
Oh, the Chows are so dumb looking.
The fact that the Google search just brings up different things related to the word Chow every single time I refresh.
Oh, it's great. Oh, I got a picture of the Shadow the Hedgehog Funko Pop.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
It's almost a Chow.
Ow, the edge.
It's close.
There's a Devil Chow, aka Amy Chow.
You're right. You're right.
Look at that. That is Amy. Just make it green. Boom.
You don't even have to make it green. That's just my style.
It's so edgy. It's so edgy.
It's just me. Okay, getting back on topic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, away from Chow Garden, the one thing I know about Sonic.
This episode is dedicated to Bron ranting for a million years about Sonic.
Yeah.
And then me and Amy occasionally coming in and saying one or two things, maybe.
I have an opinion on it, but it's like opposite opinion of Bronson. So
I can be the intermediate.
Yes.
Yeah, you get to provide all of your no, please.
Bron, why?
There they are.
Why is Sonic's head the biggest?
I know. I was gonna say, why are Shadow and Sonic's heads different sizes? What?
It's too slow.
God, it's freaky.
Yeah, just Alex gets to throw his comments out whenever he wants, and
He gets to mediate this
Opinion
horror show.
Okay. So
God.
whenever you're ready to just start spouting bullshit, right ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess I wanted to basically dedicate my portion of my conversation, explaining to you all what Sonic actually is, because
for us uncultured swines.
What the fuck is a Sonic?
For you plebeians who do not know what a Sonic is. No, I often find a lot of problem with people who dislike Sonic, specifically classic Sonic, but generally also Sonic, just in a more general sense, is that they don't understand what Sonic was supposed to be. And I want to further that into an argument of the fact that Sega clearly has no clue what Sonic used to be either, which is why fans are making better games than they are. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm still gonna think they're bad games, but you go right ahead.
Well, no, this isn't designed to sway you. This is designed to inform.
It won't.
Great. Yeah, you have the memory retention of a flea, anyway.
You're right.
Okay. So, if you guys had to describe Sonic in a word, what would it be?
DeviantArt.
Oh, okay.
Sonichu.
Sonic's level design in a word, what would it be?
Fast.
Yeah. Speed.
Confusing.
Yeah, fast. Yeah.
All over the place.
Gotta go fast, right?
DeviantArt.
Stop this. We're not mentioning the horror show.
Okay,
God. But yeah, okay. So the thing is that a lot of people think Sonic is just about speed, right? Every time I watch the Game Grumps and Aaron says, like, brings up some shitty argument that's something along the lines of, oh, this is a game about going fast. Gee, I wonder why they designed it to slow you down. God, I want to kill myself a little bit inside. Just a little bit. So let me take you through the thought process of how Sonic was created, essentially.
Oh my God.
Yuji Naki, Sonic's creator, he was actually asked by Sega to create their new IP, right? And he played a bunch of different types of famous video games, which, let's be honest, at the time, that was basically just Super Mario Bros. So he played Super Mario Bros. In order to learn how to make a good game. And,
Good choice.
the one thing he kept coming back to was the fact that every time you wanted to reset the game, or every time you got a game over and had to restart the game, you'd have to play through level 1-1 again, right? And that's fine. Level 1-1 is a really good, well-designed level. You know, it teaches you how to play the game. It's fun. It's, you know, retro now. It's very recognizable. But he kind of hated the fact that once you played through it like about 3 or so times, it kind of got boring. So he wanted to create a form of level design where you could go through a stage at any speed, in any number of ways, so that even though it was the very first level of the game and you constantly had to replay it over and over again, it would still be fun to do, right?
Can I just mention how ironic it is that Green Hill Zone is like the most overused stage?
Thank you. Oh God, I was going to mention that later. Yes, okay.
He really liked it. He changed his mind.
Oh God! Again, this is another point of like Sega's just like forgotten what the fuck Sonic is supposed to be. They're just like, everyone likes Green Hill, right? Let's just do that again a million times.
Who likes Green Hill? No one likes Green Hill.
Nobody likes Green Hill. God damn it!
Not even at Smash, no one likes Green Hill.
Well, that's just a shitty stage.
You're right.
You can see this in the level design for Green Hill, right? Whereas Super Mario Brothers is very flat, and there's really basically just one path that you can run through once you know how to play the game. Green Hill Zone is like very large. I don't know if you've ever seen maps of it, but I think there are about 3 paths in Act 1. And that sort of level structure with different branching paths is all throughout Sonic, and especially in Sonic 2 and 3 later on. But the entrance to these branching paths are what give them their purpose, because it's based on your skill level. As you play through Sonic, and you learn to basically control his speed, you gain access to all sorts of different tricks. Like, for example, Sonic's weird physics makes it so that if you speed up a hill and jump right at the peak, you can get a massive height boost and reach platforms high up in the sky that you couldn't reach normally, right? And that's a skill you can really only do if you truly understand his physics. So because of that, each of these branching paths are designed to basically be an easy mode, a medium mode, and a hard mode. The bottom path is going to be the most flat ground, few enemies, maybe a couple spikes you got to jump over, but no real consequence for failure. If you suck at going through the level fast, then you're going to fall to the lower part of the level, right? If you get better at the game and you can control Sonic's weird physics, like his weird sluggish start and the fact that he loses all his rings in one hit, and gets a shit ton of knockback when he does, once you learn how to control that, you can start speeding through these levels extremely fast. And that's what classic Sonic's level design was all about. It was earning your speed by learning the levels and understanding Sonic's physics. And for the most part, they knew how to do that well, which is why the classic games are revered a lot. And hopefully not just because most classic fans are fat, overweight basement dwellers who don't know what a new game is.
What's a new game?
What is new game? I don't know. I like my classic. Give me a Genesis or give me nothing.
I thought you said give me genocide.
That too. Cowards.
But see, when Sonic went to 3D, right? It's kind of hard to do smart platforming that's based around speed in 3D.
Water's wet.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's kind of not just their fault. I mean, how else would you port Sonic to 3D?
I have a few ideas, but okay.
Exactly. You're going to tell them, of course.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, please do. I honestly want to hear them because I can tell you most of them, from what I hear, are a hell of a lot better than what Sega's doing now. Oh Oh shit!
You said a
A
bad
lot
word.
of sass coming from someone who never made a game. Oh,
Oh,
am I
We're
all
working on
Sonic
it.
fan base now?
yeah, God. But yeah, so Sonic had some let's call them growing pains moving into 3D.
So,
Some body. Yeah, so when he moved to 3D, Sonic Adventure was his first big breakthrough, where you saw the level design shift from tight platforming based around gaining, maintaining speed, right? It moved from that into large open spaces that were more puzzle oriented, but nonetheless large enough to allow you to want to zip around them very quickly with all kinds of objectives. And the difference between those two styles created what would be the beginning of an identity crisis for Sonic.
I thought you were going to say the end.
What?
The beginning of the end, I thought you were going for.
Oh,
he's
it's
going to die.
Sonic entered the dark days from here on out.
The Dark Knight day.
Oh, God.
Lord, the Black Knight. But no, that's genuinely a consequence of it, because after Sonic Adventure 2, we got Sonic Heroes, which was supposed to be a return to the straightforward, just running a straight line. You got the loop-de-loops. You got a beginning and an end. Reach it, do it. Simply put, like that, just like the classic games, but in 3D, with admittedly really terrible, shoddy, shitty platforming.
All right, hold on. Before you keep,
Yes. Okay. Yes.
is Sonic Heroes good in your opinion?
I grew up on it, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it.
That's not the answer to my question.
But the controls are really bad. I find
Answer the question.
To this day, I don't know how to play the game properly, so I cannot call it a good game.
Okay.
That's a very roundabout way of saying no.
Yeah, you could have just said no.
Hey, well, no is a soundbite that you can use in media, and I don't believe in the media.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I have very high principles, guys, about
Okay.
Sonic.
Oh,
Do we
okay.
have to go over the other voice clips from this show?
Do I have to go into your
Right.
DMs? Like what?
Oh God, don't. And okay, so after Sonic Heroes, we got Shadow the Hedgehog,
A
Yes.
fun game.
which was an experiment.
It was a good one.
It was a failed experiment.
It was a good one.
It became a meme generator for a reason.
I'm glad it exists.
God.
If it didn't exist, I wouldn't have the image on my computer that just shadows face that says "Out the edge."
Ow, the edge. God. Admittedly, I love every single meme that's come out of that shitty era of Sonic.
God, I loved playing it. It was so bad.
Why did you play it?
I streamed it several times.
I know.
I own a copy of it. It's my
God,
prized possession.
Didn't you get stuck on the second, like the desert level or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
I did.
couldn't figure out how to get past.
I couldn't. That's just because I'm bad at video games, but also it was because he would keep throwing himself off the side of the.
He's like, I don't want to play this anymore.
God.
I kept running out of bullets. That was it. I'd get to the end and I'd run out.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Sentence
do
for a
anything.
Sonic game. I ran out of bullets.
in my Sonic.
God. Exactly. That's my point. Like, why would you be saying this in a Sonic game?
Why not?
You know,
Yeah,
I
come
should
on, it's a
preference.
Sonic game.
I should preference what I'm saying for the one Sonic fan out there who's watching this.
It's you.
Not us.
It's me. Yeah.
It's you from the future.
I should preface that this wasn't just Sonic's identity crisis didn't just start after the classic era. It began in the classic era. After Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they tried to do like some weird experimental shit, like Sonic 3D Blasts, which had weird like 3D isometric view,
What?
janky controls. It
Hold
really
on.
didn't work, and it didn't sell well either. Oh, you're gonna look it up now?
No, I've heard of that one. I've just never seen images of it.
What
no,
is
it's
it?
really bad.
Oh, it's
Sonic
ugly.
3D Blast.
Oh, that's
Oh,
ugly.
I've heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, or Flicky's Island in the UK.
Oh, that's ugly.
What?
Yeah.
Why does this
Like
look
you
like-
cast that name. Who's like, oh yeah, I love it.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's a bad name.
Why does this look like
Flicky's
the Kirby
Island.
golf game? Like, what?
Yes, it does. It really does. Except it's not nearly as fun.
You're right. You're correct.
Yeah,
Oh.
Kirby's Dream Course. Oh, I want to play that now.
Later.
Yeah, later on. Then there was Knuckles Chaotix, which was originally a game called Sonic Crackers, and it had this weird ring mechanic where two characters were attached by rings, and you had to control both of them using this weird like slinky yo-yo physics that just, of course, wasn't fun.
I'm sorry. I wish it was still called Sonic Cracker.
Crackers. Yeah, me too. I have no idea why it was called that. I genuinely don't. You
I
can
love
find
it.
prototypes where it still has that name.
Where's the?
It's in shitty like ASCII art too, like the hash
Yeah.
pound
Oh,
symbols.
it's really bad looking. I love it. It's made out of hashtags.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
I think what brought that about was the difference between Sega US and Sega Japan, because like with the first two, no heck, even after the first game, Sega US and Sega Japan actually had like not a falling out, but they decided to make games in their own light, right? Which is why you have the weird scenario of Sonic 1 being followed by Sonic CD and then Sonic 2. Sonic CD was made by Sega US and was essentially the US's second Sonic game, right? Which is why it shares none of the design philosophies. It's completely different. It has a weird time travel mechanic. I still consider it very fun and a major part of the classic series. But that's definitely where things started to get different because no one could decide on anything. And it just grew and grew from there. Have you ever read the Archie comics? I need to bring up the Archie comics if I'm talking about Sonic.
Which one?
What?
The recent ones or the ones that, like the old ones or the ones that was just discontinued?
They're the same thing.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
The only ones I've read were the ones that were like the new classic Sonic ones that were really pretty looking. And
Okay, yeah, those
I
were.
took all those
made
Knuckles
by,
faces from my icons.
Yes, I love them. Yeah, that was Sonic Mega Drive. That was made
That
by
one.
Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude who did all the art for Mania.
Yeah. That was a nice one. I love that. Oh,
Yeah,
so much.
But I'm
God.
gonna assume you're talking about all the old Archie Sonic
The
comics.
old ones.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
they've
seen
been around.
pictures of them. I've never read them, but
It's been around for a long while, and it beautifully highlights just how fucking crazy Sonic was. So Sonic had two cartoons back in the day, which is
which two?
Sonic
were so many.
Adventures, or the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, excuse me.
Okay.
Which was the crazy one with the Robotnik with the ass and scratching around her. Yeah.
You're right.
The thing is, yeah.
I wasn't ready for it.
That's the one.
Please say the other one was Sonic Underground.
It's gotta be.
I forgot about that. 3. Holy shit.
Oh, there isn't.
I was that one haunts my
Sonic
nightmare.
Underground.
So
God, there were rock stars, and Sonic had like a brother and sister.
yeah, it's weird. I don't like to think about it, but I had to know if that's the one. If it wasn't the one you were thinking of, then what's that?
No, the other one was Sonic Sat AM.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Sonic Saturday morning. It was the more serious one of the cartoons. It's the one that introduced Sally Acorn, Antoine de Coulier, the Walrus, all those like weird characters that you see everywhere.
Is that the one that introduced the rabbit that was half robotic?
Yeah, Bunny
Yeah.
Rabbit. Yeah.
Okay, then I've seen images of that one.
Yeah.
I just didn't know
Okay.
what the name of it was.
I think
Yeah,
I
it's
used to read
decent,
some of
actually.
the comics for that actually.
Yeah, exactly. So these heavily American cartoons influenced the comic, and the comic tried to get influence from the games. So the comic sort of became this melting pot of every Sonic IP, and that quickly snowballed into this this mess of a universe. There, like the comic actually talks about alternate dimensions. How there's an anti-Sonic who got renamed to Scourge because he got powered up by the anti-Master Emerald or something.
Yes.
What?
He's got like an edgy scar over his stomach, and he wears red shades.
I have to read this now.
Yeah, you have to share this. You can't just say whatever the heck his name was and just think you don't want to know about it.
Scourge the Hedgehog.
I've heard of. I'm pretty sure I've heard of Scourge. I just didn't know anything about him.
Yeah. Oh God. But yeah, no. So like, sorry, I googled it.
Oh, it's this dude.
Yeah,
it's this asshole. Wasn't he in a game? I thought he was in.
No, he wasn't. No.
Here, post him in the.
Who's the green bird then?
The green bird? Oh, that's Jet the Hawk.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
he's the same green. So I was like.
Yeah, he looks similar.
I've seen this before.
He's so edgy.
I've definitely seen this design. I thought it was a DeviantArt OC. Okay.
Yeah, totally. I don't blame you. I really don't.
Oh,
it looks like every like you know how people like take shadow and they recolor him so his stripes are green. That's what it looks like.
That's what it is. I thought you were gonna say, you know that game where you go on Google and you type.
Yeah.
I can't do that, obviously, but.
Please don't. Yeah, but he used to be called Evil Sonic until they gave him a name.
Wow.
How creative.
How creative.
I know. He used to just be a blue Sonic with normal ass shit.
I'm sorry, did you say a blue Sonic?
Yeah, a normal blue, like a normal Sonic.
Oh.
God.
Didn't you know the original Sonic lore has him as orange?
He's purple.
He's blurple.
He's blurple.
So yeah, the point being that like Sonic had no consistency in his early days. Outside of the classic games, everything was wild. The Archie comics even had an in-universe reboot called the Genesis Wave, where they basically retconned everything and updated all the characters' designs to more greatly reflect the games.
Nice.
Yeah, it was weird.
I want to read them.
Good luck. There's hundreds.
Yes.
God.
You doubt me?
Huh?
Do you doubt my ability?
If you read them all, I don't even know what I'd just be impressed, honestly.
You're right.
Is that the right word to use here? Are we sure?
Yeah. I say, it's not one of those like the other Archie comics where they're just like random serials that can be read in any order. There's like an overarching plot.
I know.
To all of them. But back to the games.
Okay. Exactly.
So where were we? We were at Shadow Out of the Edge.
Out of the Edge.
Out of the Edge.
Are you talking about all of them?
Yeah, I just want to go through all the eras. There are only 3.
Okay.
It's only like 17.
So I just got like a couple more hours.
Just a couple more hours to go. Yeah. So after Shadow the Hedgehog, it was reaching Sonic's anniversary. What was it? His 10th anniversary. They wanted to make a really good game that would redefine Sonic.
06.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 10. It might be 10. Let me just see. I'm going to see what.
I can't remember when it was. But yeah, they had no clue where to go with Sonic, so they said, you know what? Let's just reboot everything. Let's make a Sonic game that everyone will love.
Let's just kill Sonic.
Exactly, and it sucked.
Generations was 25, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the 25th, yeah.
Okay, so...
Or somewhere nearby, yeah. So yeah, Sonic 06 was rushed and sucked and just made Sonic a laughingstock. Like, I mean, all what wasn't already due to Shadow the Hedgehog, let's be honest.
You're right. It was 20.
20, really?
Apparently, because Sonic Generations came out in 2011.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man, they put out a lot of games in that very short span, because there were a decent amount before.
Did. Yeah. Well, okay. The main series are Sonic 1 through 3 and Knuckles. Sonic
and
Adventure.
Knuckles.
That's the full title.
Yeah, and Knuckles.
And Knuckles.
He's there too. Don't forget him, please.
Don't
He's
forget
the only
him.
game mechanic that's new.
He's more important than Tails.
You're right.
God.
He always will be.
Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Sonic 06. Then there was Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations. No wait. Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations.
No, and then there was also the 2 storybook ones that came out like.
Yeah, I don't consider them main, but yeah, the storybook
they
saga.
Exist.
That were only 2 games. Again, this is more to do with them not having any clue what to do with Sonic anymore, so just throwing him at anything. But I will say the 3D aspect of it, there was definitely an evolution over time from that wide, like, open world exploration kind of game in Sonic Adventure to a more, I guess, railroady, like just straight shot, just run forward, shoot enemies, duck every now and then. Sometimes we go into a 2D section because, hey, classic Sonic, remember that? We were good
ones. What the hell
ones.
is Sonic Chronicles?
Oh God, the Dark Brotherhood.
Sorry, I'm just looking through all the Sonic titles and I'm like, this one weird.
That was a Sonic RPG for the DS.
Oh,
what?
Yes.
Yeah,
We found your next stream game, Amy.
Yes, you did.
Please play it. Oh no, it's phenomenally famous for its shitty, terrible music.
I was gonna say this looks like a really shitty remake of Inside Story. Like they tried really hard. And
I think did Inside Story come out after or before? I think after.
Was it? Let me
God.
see.
Sonic Chronicles.
They did a ripoff of a game that wasn't even out yet.
That's how they did it. Yes.
That's how lacking they were in creative ideas. My God. Oh God, I remember all those shitty characters.
What a legend.
So yeah, there was the adventure.
Inside Story was after, so I guess it would have been
after. Yeah. Okay. Wow. They ripped off a game that didn't even happen yet. Wow. Sega, you suck.
The one that came out later was still better.
Actually, who was the publisher? Look up who the publisher was, because I think they actually made like good games later. I can't remember what it was. Shit. I remember like watching a review about this, and they were just like, why did they go on to make better games than this? Sonic,
It's just a Sega.
only Sega.
It's only Sega. Let me look on the.
They got some third-party company to BioWare. That was it.
Wow.
What are they?
Freaking BioWare. Yeah. We'll make your Sonic game for you. We put Mass Effect on hiatus.
There you go. Yeah, Dragon. Let's forget Dragon's Age for a bit.
Yeah, let me just put this on hold for a second.
Let me make a shitty Sonic RPG.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. They made a shitty RPG to make their games look better.
That's the order you have to play BioWare games in.
The conspiracy of a lifetime.
Oh my
God. The best marketing technique there is.
Exactly.
I love that it's on DS too. Like.
Yeah, I don't know why. Everything about it is shit. Everything. If you stream this, you are in for a surprise.
I really, really want to. It's got like a 70-something on Metacritic, and I don't know why. What? These are all very high ratings.
That is too high. Oh my God. That just proves to you that this high-level review companies are shit at their jobs.
Tune in tomorrow for my stream of Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood on Twitch.
Thank God. Oh Lord! Just looking at this gives me like Vietnam flashbacks.
I'm sorry, I was just really curious.
Oh no. God, I need to show you. There's one song in particular. It's a remix of the Sonic 3 final boss theme, and it is like half the notes are missing. I don't even know how they made it sound that bad. It sounds like a bad MIDI where half the notes were dropped and the other half of the notes were like detuned.
Oh,
and that's the quality of the music in this game through the whole game.
Awesome.
Oh, God. Okay. Back to normal shitty Sonic.
Back to the normal version.
Yeah.
I should say, I like Sonic Unleashed's layout or rather level design, because it kind of knew what it was doing a lot better now. It could mix speed and platforming over large 3D areas.
Really? Are you
It was
sure
a lot more
about that?
manageable. Trust me.
I don't
So
know.
I can hear your differing opinion from here. Jeez, your salt is real.
I don't know, man. Every time I see the gameplay footage of them like in the overworld town, I'm just like, do I walk into a different game?
Which version did you play?
Uh, God. See, it's very strange. I know I played Sonic Unleashed with some kid who lives like down the block or whatever, but and I think he had it for Wii, but I cannot remember anything about the game except for the fact that we would laugh at it for hours. To
Yeah.
watch the Game Grumps play it, nothing looked familiar.
Oh, really? Okay.
Nothing, and I'm pretty sure they were also playing the Wii version.
Yeah, that was definitely the Wii version. Yeah.
That doesn't anything look. I don't know. I just repressed it all.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, the Wii version was completely like inferior. It was really weird.
It's always inferior.
I'm not gonna say the Xbox version was like the magnum opus of Sonic because it was still a pretty like shitty game, but I can admire how it learned to handle Sonic because it had a good flow between it. Again, it was all about like learning the stage in order to earn your speed. I didn't like how they stopped you because it always felt cheap because there'd just be a wall that you had to avoid with a quick time event. But it was closer to the original philosophy, so I can give it some props for that. And honestly, I don't know why, but after that, they kind of again hit like a point where they were just like, we don't know what the fuck to do with Sonic anymore. Let's
Sonic boom,
dish him out again.
Let's give him an ascot, boys.
You're like the hype man for for my segues.
You do not understand how much I love Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom was a train wreck.
Yes, I bought it.
It was almost as bad as Sonic 06.
I own it. Whenever I sell my Wii U, I'm just gonna that it has Paper Mario Color Splash and Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric download.
You're selling real quality there.
Yes, $1 million for this Wii U.
My god!
I played it like twice though, because I bought it to stream it and it didn't work. And I was like, I can't play this on. I played like 2 minutes. Like this is unplayable.
Yeah, it's just
Every
unfinished.
aspect.
Oh god! I don't even. Wow, I've just genuinely blocked it out. I don't even have enough to say about it to actually analyze it. It was just shit. It was unfinished as shit.
I like the designs.
Yeah, the designs are cool. I love the cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon is hysterical.
It is. Yeah, it actually knows how to be tongue-in-cheek about itself.
Oh, it's great. They also made... I've never heard anyone talk about the Fire and Ice one for the 3DS.
Oh, yeah, because I think it's just kind of bleh from what I've heard. It's not as shitty as Rise of Lyric, but it's not a bad game. It's just more of the same shit.
Yeah, it just like flew under the radar because it came out about the same time. It was just yes, and everyone's like, yeah, but look at this other one.
Yeah.
Horrible.
God. Ugh. So yeah, that was a down part in Sonic's life. What else came out around that time?
Heroes.
What other disappointments were made then?
Yeah.
Heroes.
What?
Heroes.
Heroes? No, that was way earlier. That was on
Forces.
GameCube.
My bad. Forces.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I thought of the word heroes because I know it's about war for some reason.
Actually, no. Forces came later. I want to mention Lost Worlds because that was just Mario Galaxy as an inferior Sonic game.
Fuck is Lost Worlds?
You've never seen Lost Worlds?
No.
Look it up. It's literally
Mario
Galaxy.
But worse, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but way worse.
You can't
Is
get
that
better
the one
than
where it's just like you're running on a cylinder and that's pretty much it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. In Green Hills version 5.
I'm sorry, could you say the name again?
Sonic Lost World.
Yeah, I did see the characters from this.
Oh yeah, what are their stupid names?
They're ugly.
The Malignant Tumors 6 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Close enough.
God, okay, the box art for this It looks alright. And then I scroll down to like the in-game cutscenes. So bad looking. They didn't shade like anything.
Yes.
It's all it's
Nope.
like overly lit to hell. And they used
Mhm.
old designs for some reason, but they kept
Yeah.
Sonic's weird fur texture on his head. So it's got like the weird lighting bouncing off of him. And then one gameplay is just a cylinder.
Taste those bump maps. God.
Oh god. Oh, look at they got like a ring counter in the lives and it's ugly.
Oh yeah, look at that UI.
Oh, that UI
was
is-
that was made in a minute.
It was made in 1 minute. I can tell they tried to make this Mario Galaxy, but they failed because there's like a world map underneath all the floatingness
Yeah.
instead of like space. So
Yeah,
why are these platforms just floating? Where are you?
my favorite thing is the disconnect between the cutscenes and the levels, because 1 second you'll be on what is like seriously just flat ground and it looks like you're just on a normal plane, and then like when you start up a level you're just suddenly high up in the sky on a giant pill.
Awesome. Can I just say that water looks really bad?
Show it.
I
need to
like
see
in this one screenshot I found, just like the singular screenshot I found, like you can see like a waterfall off to the side there. That looks like it's made of felt. That is a felt waterfall.
Where's the Paper Mario called? You're ripping off its graphics.
Oh my god, I have a lot of feelings about water textures for some reason. So
Yeah.
that's like my precursor to like, okay, this game's gonna suck ass.
Yeah. Whenever I see terrible water textures in games, I just go back to Super Mario Sunshine, just like, this is so much better.
I know, it's just like, God. And
It's like taking a Vicodin.
I also remember the one green lady, because she was the only girl of the cast, and then everyone drew porn of her.
Yeah, she was the girl, so yeah,
She
of course,
looks
Rule
weird
34.
and bad. She got titties though.
You know who she reminds me of? No, literally her character. She's Disgust from Inside Out.
Oh boy, what a fun design.
I mean, you're right. I thought you were going to say Cosmo from the anime.
Oh.
Green.
No, because Cosmo was actually like a nice character. Oh,
Cosmo was actually
Sonic
good.
X.
Remember when they...
Before she died for that cheap, like, oh no, Tails is upset now.
Sonic X was a good anime. Okay, listen, if you
Sorry?
watch Sonic X in Japanese, her death and Tails' reaction,
I know what
he like swears at Sonic.
Yeah.
And then you go to the 4Kids version. They cut it all out for like a sad montage. It's the funniest shit ever. Every once in a while,
are great at that.
I'll go back to that last episode of Sonic X and I'll just rewatch like Cosmo's Sacrifice and I'll get all emotional and then I'll look at the 4Kids one and I'll just laugh my ass off.
You know, I genuinely don't know what it is with like the extra media and like trying to make Tails like sad and like edgy.
He can't be
like
happy.
a character. He's like an 8-year-old kid. God damn it.
Yeah.
His one defining character trait is that he's an engineer. That's it.
He's got 2 tails. That's it.
That's it. He farts out of 2 holes on his ass.
Oh, don't say that.
Why?
That was a sentence that came out of my mouth before I thought.
Yeah,
You know
I
what?
hope you realize that.
No offense, Sonic X did a better job of characterizing Tails than the entire series combined.
Honestly, yeah.
I will stand by that until the day I die.
They can't even decide what the heck Tails' character is. They can't even decide on his goddamn voice.
No, they can't. Listen, I know it's cheesy. I just really liked Sonic X.
Guys, have you ever
Yeah,
heard
Sonic
Sonic?
X, I enjoyed it.
Have you ever heard Sonic Heroes' Tails voice?
Oh, isn't that the one where it's like everyone uses voice clips from just because it's so weird?
I think it might be. I know they used the Vector one for find the computer room. I remember that one.
Is it the really high pitched one that doesn't fit?
It's literally a kid. They actually got like an actual
yeah,
kid to do
like the
voice.
weird high pitched child that doesn't.
Yeah. It's it's so mwah, mwah. Child actors when they're terrible are just the best thing to listen to ever, because you can hear the voice manager just like face palming in the sound booth.
He's doing his best.
God, yeah, he's a kid. He's doing his best. I can't blame him. God, it's so good. Okay, so where was I then?
I guess
Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania. Yeah. Sonic Forces is a game that didn't need to be made, and it was made entirely because Sega team wanted to believe that they can still make games while they had the fans make an actual game for them.
They were desperately hoping.
They were very desperate. It is literally DeviantArt. It is literally the OC creator game.
I kept like mulling over whether or not I want to buy Forces just for the character creator, and I'm like,
oh God, please.
$.
It's like if you get fun out of watching your OC running next to Sonic in a bunch of shitty levels, then please do.
Yes.
God.
Amy's
like, that's right up my alley.
Directly up my alley. When I played Pokemon Sun and Moon, I spent like 30 years in the outfit. Like, in all the shops, just like, hell yeah.
Heck yeah. God.
Don't lie to me, I've done the same thing.
I want to say Mania was a nice return to form, not just because it was, oh yay, look, it's classic Sonic, and you know, classic fags are gonna love that so much. Oh, it's a new classic Sonic game. It's actually a good, like, it has good level design. It takes the level design of Sonic 2 and 3 and Knuckles and expands on it
and
fully.
Knuckles.
And Knuckles, exactly. You can't forget and Knuckles.
It's gameplay mechanic, please.
Knock, it's Knuckles. Yes, gameplay mechanics. Yeah, so like large open sprawling worlds filled with multiple different branching paths that you can get to based on your skill, but also designed around all the different characters you can play as. So if you're playing as Tails, then there are high off areas that you can only reach by flying. If you're playing as Knuckles, portions of the level are entirely blocked off behind like unbreakable walls that Knuckles can break with his knuckles, right?
What else would he break it with?
His face.
His rock hard fist nipples. God, do you remember that?
I'm Nipples, the enchilada.
Exactly. Do you know what that is?
Same guy.
I'm so scared right now.
So you remember when we mentioned Tyson Heath, the guy who made the comics?
Hold on, I gotta find rock hard fist nipples.
Cutscenes. Yeah, he made a long time ago on DeviantArt. He uploaded a bunch of comics about Sonic, and they were the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God, it's what I know him for. Like when I heard this guy was making like the next comic, I'm like, oh thank God.
He works for Sega now. This man works for Sega.
The absolute legend. I follow him on Twitter. He's so really funny.
He's so good. Yeah, I follow him too.
He did some other stuff. I think he worked on some of the other Archie comics for a while.
Yes, he worked on some of the Archie comics. He worked on Mega Drive. He worked on the opening cutscenes for Sonic Mania and the shorts Sonic Mania Adventures.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
I think he has his own webcomic, or at least he works on something else.
Yeah, I think so.
One like blonde character that's like his icon that I recognize him by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has a lot of good art. Check him out.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, in summary, Sonic Mania is good. The end of story.
He drew Amaterasu. He's my favorite person now.
Nice. There you go. That's how he becomes awesome.
So.
Yes. Oh, nice. Good.
It's really good.
I love his coloring style too for the comics.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
So did you just want to go over like the history of everything, or were you actually going to talk about like your opinion on stuff?
Well, I think I made my opinion very clear. I love 2D Sonic because it actually stands by the methodology that Sonic was meant to be. After they entered 3D, they had no clue what to do, and so they threw shit at the wall, and they slowly got better. But to this day, I still prefer 2D Sonic.
Okay, so you...
Let me hear you break that down, Amy.
I was just gonna say, you're like... I mean, no matter how you explain it, you're just like... on the same page as like every single Sonic fan ever, where they're just like classic Sonic's better. For XYZ reason, they're just like
classic Sonic fans are probably just the vocal majority, but no, there are a lot of people who defend the newer games, even 06, surprisingly.
Why?
That's undefendable.
Because they have terrible tastes. That's why.
Well, there's always someone defending some game out there, so
exactly. It's Good.
Well, you started your argument with the thing about how whenever people say that Sonic's about going fast and whatever, they make level design that's like slowing you down, it's bad. And I
Mhm.
like your point and how like it's meant for like you can go slow and there's branching paths and play it your own way. And that's great. However, when they introduce the concept that you can go fast and here's all these loops to go fast, I want to go fast. And the fact
Mhm.
I can't go fast because I keep running into shit makes me not want to play the game anymore. So
Yeah, the fact that it relies so heavily on the idea of branching paths, even though that's not really a new idea anymore, kind of makes it so Sonic isn't unique except for his ability to go fast.
I mean,
You gotta go fast.
you can go fast in Mario too, though. Like you can watch people like speedrun that because like Mario runs if you don't like hit some for a while.
Yeah, well, it's not designed for the idea of speed, though.
Yeah, it's not designed for
Yeah.
the idea of speed, but the level design still caters to it. Like you can still hit like all the beats while going fast. Just
Mm-hmm.
you can hit it all going slow, but like if you try to speed through Sonic, you'll hit stuff because they put stuff for you to hit. And like when I was playing Mania, because I never played the first, I didn't grow up with Sonic, but I bought Mania, and every once in a while I keep going back to play it, and I keep getting stuck on like the second world or whatever. That's like I don't even know what it's called, like the
Chemical plant.
yeah.
I know it too. Go.
I keep getting stuck on that because there's one part with like these moving block platforms that like go vertical and they move horizontally. And I keep
Oh yeah.
past that because the way it's programmed is if you hit it from the side or from any certain angle, it'll kill you because it crushes you to the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
And I can't find any of the other paths
That's
to
the
get away
famous
from
shaft
that.
too. Is that the area with the water, the purple water?
Yep.
Yeah. That's the famous shaft. I
So,
don't know
like-
why they brought that back. Why it crushes you. Ugh.
Don't like that one bit. But like you said, there's multiple paths, and even when I go back and replay it, I only find one. I guess it's because I'm not looking, and like I'm not gonna.
Well,
games.
so this is what I meant when I said earning. With the fact that you run into everything, sure, yeah, that might not make you want to continue playing the game if you can't go fast. But I guess the best way I can say is that it's designed for speedrunners. Once you've played the level enough, you know what's coming. You know what to avoid. You know how to get to the other paths. You know how to get through the level as quickly and efficiently as possible. So it's about earning that speed. That's how you get the speed.
I don't like the way you phrase that very much.
Okay.
You
How should I
proved,
phrase it?
you proved my point when you said it's for speedrunners. Because if it's for speedrunners and me, the lay public, picks up a Sonic for
Okay.
and his jump mechanic is shit and he doesn't look very well. And his
Yeah.
movements are, like he gets faster. Like you can't stop him from going faster when he just goes normally. He just starts running. There's no
Mhm.
genuine walk thing. And he
Actually, there is. Actually, no.
Really?
That's yeah. No. Sonic, classic Sonic was known for the fact that like if you move from a standstill, he slogs into his running animation. It takes a while. And again, that's another part of the incentive for earning your speed. When you get hit and slow down, it feels bad to start back up
that's
again.
not what I meant. I meant like when you walk, he'll eventually start running if you're doing good.
Yeah.
If I want to try to go through it slowly and not run, I don't have that option because he'll start running eventually. And when he starts running, I can't stop him very quickly because he like he has like the traction slide.
Yeah.
I, like try to break him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. It's fine if it's for speedrunners, and there's a lot of people. Who are
Okay, yeah.
Sonic, and it's
Then,
fine for that. But like,
Le-
I didn't enjoy it. That's just what I meant.
sorry. No. Yeah. Let me say it. That was the speedrunner thing was basically just shorthand. It wasn't
I know
actually
what you
literally
meant.
for speedrunners. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's what you meant by bad phrasing.
No,
Yeah,
it's just like
It's supposed to be a sort of middle ground, if you can put it like that. Like it or hate it. The level, I don't. I can see why you would have problems taking the level that slowly, right?
mhm.
But I think Sonic's, especially with Green Hill, Emerald Hill in the second game, and sorry, hold on. Excuse me.
Johnson's dying.
I'm slowly. Sonic is killing me.
Me too.
With the level design and more open levels, I feel like there should be enough space for you to slow down. I've never.
Oh,
had-
Green Hill
like,
Zone was
especially-
never a problem for me when I went through it. It's right when I get to Chemical Plant. and they
Yeah.
throw
Oh,
more
okay,
hazards immediately. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think by the time you get into the second, well, okay, I can't say that for the first game because the first game had Marble Zone as the second zone. But like Sonic expects you to learn its controls by the end, and if you can't get a handle on its really janky physics, then it's not gonna feel fun.
Yeah, my point was just that the physics are janky because when you play, his mechanic is that he jumps, so he jumps really precisely onto everything. So it's like when you fail the platforming, it's your fault. But since Sonic's mechanic is that he speeds up and he has a lot of elements to his game that were like you can breeze through it. When he jumps and you have to like jump across all the platforms or the enemies or whatever, he like slides. He's got he like balls. I can't control.
He has mega traction. Yeah.
Don't like. I don't like when he jumps. He turns into the ball like instantaneously because that doesn't really plan out where I'm gonna land very well when he's just a orb.
I can. Yeah, I've had that problem before. Oh,
sorry.
What?
My computer made a noise. I'll cut it out.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, I've had that where on certain levels where the platforms are really small, trying to aim your jump with the spin dash, or not the spin dash, but like the spin jump, can throw you off when he's in ball form because it doesn't give you a good indication of where his feet are going to touch.
I mean, I'm not saying this as like the point of view of like someone who knows what they're talking about. I've played Sonic for maybe like 2 to 3 hours total, and I still haven't beaten it just because I never had a real excuse to go back to it. I'm just saying,
and first impressions are important, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for that.
Yeah, I do want to go back and actually try to get good at it. It's just like when I get annoyed at something, I'm just like, okay, I'm not having fun anymore. But
yeah,
my point was pretty much just like usually when you run into people who say that like the classic is better, they'll give you the reason that like classic was like nearly flawless or like on par with the Mario games, and they're not. That was objectively better. Like, it's I don't know. It's more exact with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like the song.
Mario was definitely more focused. That's one thing I can give it. Yeah.
There is a reason that they played the Mario games to learn how to make a video game.
Yeah.
I don't even really know how it was like a console wars thing. It was pretty obvious that Mario was going to win at the end, especially.
Yeah, that was. Oh, sorry. Oh, you just reminded me. Oh. Have you ever seen those old commercials for the Sega Genesis and Sonic, where it talked about blast processing and shit like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
They're silly.
Sega of America like started this whole console wars with Nintendo, basically, right? They that's how they tried to enter the video game market, by basically butting heads with a bull.
Yeah,
so
really
what he's trying to do with our Twitter account.
Basically, yes.
Someone needs to fight me.
Every monster.
Yes, I need someone to fight me on Twitter. I'm ready.
But the Sega of America had this whole branding thing where they tried to make it appear like they were better than Nintendo, and specifically Mario, which was really just Sonic's whole attitude. That's why he had an attitude. That's why he had like spikes and why he was so edgy for the 90s, because he was supposed to be cooler than Mario. And that marketing went all the way up to the point where in promotional materials, they'd advertise the fact that Genesis had this thing called blast processing, which means it could process things faster. So Sonic could run faster. You couldn't do this on a Nintendo. Oh boy, look at all the speed, right?
Gotta go fast.
I don't think that's how it works.
It's not. It's definitely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, that whole advertising campaign, which I mean just occurred throughout the entire 90s basically, was what solidified the concept of Sonic just being about speed in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, because they really pushed the and I gotta say, I didn't bring this up and I was planning to, that I really do like Sonic conceptually. Like I like his design. I like all the characters' designs for the most part, even like the Green Man. I don't know. I like the big cartoony eyes.
You mean Vector?
No, not Vector. The one you
the dark Sonic that we were just talking about.
Scourge. Okay.
Scourge. I already forgot his name. Like I like Vector too. I think Vector has one of the coolest designs. Actually, I think Rouge is my favorite design.
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah, before they like
I just like her heart motif is the thing. Like, implemented
Yeah.
I
on
just
like
really
her
like
shoes.
boob bats.
That's
That
cool.
too. I like
Check
women.
out their costumes. In Sonic Advance 2, they changed a lot of the character designs. Like Sonic's boots were different. Rouge's entire costume was different.
I thought you said Sonic's boobs.
Sonic's boobs were different.
They
He got a
gave him
boob
titties.
job. He can't go fast anymore.
You can't go back to jiggle too much.
Oh god, the jiggle physics in Sonic.
Oh no. You really don't need that.
Oh god. Yeah.
But okay, so like the design is good, the world is good. I like Eggman's design a lot, and I like the
Yeah.
concept. I don't know how like prevalent it was, but I know the plot of like the original games was that like Eggman was taking animals and putting them in like all the robot enemies. So when you kill an enemy, it frees the animal and it like thanks you
Yeah.
for points. And
Yeah, the flickies. Yeah.
the thing. That's why it kind of makes me upset that after they moved on from like the 2D stuff, they pretty much dropped that concept entirely and never came back to it.
It was still always there, about as present as it was in the other games, but
They could have expanded on it, is what I meant.
yeah.
You know how when like Mario went to 3D, the first thing that happened was Mario 64, and he's in Peach's castle, and Bowser still
Yeah.
does. It happens every single game.
Yeah, exactly. The thing for me, like the way I see it, is the central concept of the game. Like it was always there in the classic games, and you didn't need it pushed into your face because you always realized that was the goal because the game was so simple. But as you move into 3D, you get more complex games with more complex stories. So what was that pseudo environmentalist message with like saving the animals from the robots? It was still there, but it was never a focus anymore at all.
It was never a focus.
It was dropped to the side.
It was never a focus, and then they started butting Eggman out of like the main villain seat slowly.
Yeah.
They keep introducing new villains with all the games.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something really controversial?
Sure.
When have you not?
Yeah, seriously.
I think in certain aspects, the 3D games are a much better idea than the 2D ones are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, the gameplay in the 3D ones are all awful because they don't know how to program that correctly. But I have to say, I do like the direction they took it with, like, I would have been okay. I would have thought it was interesting if they explored, like, all the environmental messages and if Sonic was, like, a hippie and they, like, 90, like, kept the big 90 vibes. I think that would be funny.
Yeah. Oh, yes, please. Oh, I want that too.
I also think it's interesting that like with every new game they tried to come up with a new concept for it. Like they were trying out new things.
Yeah.
It never worked, but I appreciate what they did. Like the style in 06 was very jarring, but it was decent in the cutscenes.
It was something, yeah.
I'm not gonna give 06 any credit. 06 was just
It was
Like
just
maybe I'll
shit.
say something good, but
oof. I'll say something good about 06 that the cutscenes look nice, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, the cutscenes that were pre-rendered.
The pre-rendered cutscenes look nice. The first cutscene looks nice, and that's the only.
Yeah. Do you remember that one where Sonic's dragging Elise through the Windows XP?
Yeah, the Windows
background?
XP background. What a legend.
what? This is a thing?
Yeah, there's some scene where Elise and Sonic are hanging out on like a grass field with like a clear blue sky, but it's so generic looking that it looks like exactly like the Windows XP background.
Yeah.
Just like
No
to a
trees,
T.
no mountains in the distance. It's just like some rolling hills, some grass, and some clouds.
And then
That's
like
it.
it like zooms out, and you're like, wait a minute.
This is Windows.
You're like, this has to be. I'm
Just
not.
has like all the windows on the bottom.
I wish. No, I'm not.
It's like someone didn't even
Someone needs
edit
to
it.
do that.
Oh my God, please.
Someone needs to do that.
I'll
Please, like
do
when
it
the camera
afterwards.
zooms out, it like shows the taskbar like icon.
Yeah. No, I'm not giving 06 any credit, but I think
No.
games had like a decent idea. Like I don't think Unleashed looks good at all, but I like the idea of it to an extent with the werehog thing. A lot of people like Generations. I think Generations is visually very beautiful, and it looks.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
The adventure games are very silly looking, but they look fun to replay.
Don't you love Sonic's lips movements?
So much. I love the sound mixing in Sonic Adventure 2. It's
Yeah, all the Sonic Adventure games just have god awful mixing.
oh, it's
Starring
amazing.
Robotnik as recorded in a bathroom.
It's recorded in a bathroom. for Sonic. Not even that. Like in Sonic Adventure 2, there's this one cutscene that someone put on Twitter or Tumblr or something, and it's just like, the spaceship crashing, but they didn't overlay the voices correctly, so like, Tails is much louder than everyone, and all the flips are like out of sync and like in the wrong place, so it doesn't make any sense.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's really
Don't forget
the arc collapse. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, where they're all yelling and they're all overlapping at the same time.
Yes,
You know-
that one.
You know what my favorite scene is in like the in-game engine for Sonic Adventure 2? It's the one where Eggman's just like, oh, you thought I would fall for a fake Chaos Emerald, right? And then Tails is like, what? How did you know it was a fake? Because you just told me.
Yes. my favorite's always gonna be you fake hedgehog.
You're the faker.
Oh yeah, it's
You're not
like
even
right
good
after the
enough to
first
be
boss
my
fight
fake.
too.
Yeah. Oh God.
God, I love
that-
Shadow so much. He's such a. Oh my god.
The entire concept of Shadow just cracks me up.
It's so I gotta say, ironically and unironically, love Shadow the Hedgehog. I love it. It's hopeful. They gave him guns. He's got a motorcycle. It doesn't make any sense. I love
You know what?
everything about it.
You know what? The thumbnail for this video better be that image
Yes.
of Shadow with the Monster Energy drink and the skateboard.
Oh god.
I don't want to use that because it's art that belongs to someone. I'm gonna
Oh
bunch of
yeah.
Okay,
clips
yeah, that's
from
fair.
like the in-game cutscene where he's got the gun.
Please, yes.
Oh my god. And then
Brilliant.
a lot of people liked colors from what I've heard.
Yeah,
I don't know if so. I was just like horses. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't. No.
They did not. But like,
No.
I do like the idea of 3D Sonic, and like they tried a lot of things, even with like the Black Knight. I'm not defending that. I'm definitely defending the gameplay, like on the rails Sonic. That's the shittiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like some of the designs of the armor in that were cool. They were trying stuff.
I guess.
They're really trying.
I love Knuckles and the
Oh.
armor.
My god.
Oh, which character was Knuckles? I can't even remember.
Lancelot was Shadow,
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, Shadow was Lancelot. Yeah.
Um,
God, I love the fact that they were all just like normal.
Yeah.
Like they all had the names of the characters from
Was
King
Knuckles like Gunther or something? Maybe it wasn't Gunther.
Arthur. Gunther?
Sir Gunther. It's something with a G, I think. Hold on.
Is it? Yeah. Sonic and the Black Knights.
The Black Knight.
I don't like the way you said
I don't like the way you said black. I read part of Arthur's Round Table or whatever, so I knew some of it. What? Leave me alone.
You mean the fable of King Arthur?
Yeah, whatever. His fucking round table. His McDonald's table. That's what I'm tired.
Please.
He
I need
ordered
you to
7
remake-
Happy Meal.
I need you to remake all please remake all the classic like literature novels of our time.
With
Oh
Sonic.
my God.
Sonic and the Happy Meals. Gawain.
Shitty names.
Knuckles was Sir Gawain.
Gawain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sonic
I
gets
know
chicken
it's a-
nuggets from McDonald's.
I didn't read
God.
I didn't read the full thing. We read like snippets of some stuff in English, I remember.
Oh.
And I was thinking about the Black
What the
Knight,
hell?
so I couldn't actually remember what it was called. But I don't know. They were trying a lot of things, and I respect them for that. But I feel like it actually would be very easy to make a good Sonic game in 3D, and they just don't want to for some reason. Like in 2D, you're sequestered to like 2D weird platforming where everything's like condensed. In 3D, just make an open world Sonic game.
Yeah.
The branching paths to like make Breath of the Wild but Sonic. Is that like was that really so hard to think of? Like just open like you think of like a racing game with like tracks, like they got like really big courses or whatever with like a bunch of like extra bonus paths or whatever. Just
Sonic R.
yeah, Sonic R, but like expand it. Don't make it a racing game. Make better enemy designs.
That's it. I get to do is make Sonic Utopia.
Yeah, just make big Sonic Land.
Massive Sonic.
Big Sonic Land.
I need Sonic, but expand.
I need to expand Sonic. You know, you're a Sonic RPG, and I'm fascinated by that concept.
It's not.
No, it's
Paper
it's,
Mario, but Sonic. We need it.
No, you know what? I'm actually trying to think of a way to make this work because I am fascinated by it. See,
by the concept.
I want to use the Sonic RPG thing and mix it with like the old plot of Eggman like taking control of all the creatures in the forest and it just having like a very slap in the face environmental message. Sonic is a huge hippie.
So the serious cartoon as an RPG.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like as an RPG, but not like Final Fantasy style RPG, sort of like the Mario and Luigi RPG thing.
Nice.
Like bring back all like the characters or whatever, so it can like spin dash like in an RPG thing.
You are gonna love the Dark Brotherhood.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just thinking because I was thinking about the Dark Brotherhood. Like, if you like, this is very obviously just like a clone of like Partners in Time or whatever. Like, you could do that. Although it'd actually make more sense if they did RPG style, but like in the way that Super Paper Mario did it, where it was still
yeah.
You could overworld
2D.
fight and like get experience that way. I feel like that'd make people happy. Like don't make it super story driven, but like make it really stylized and like you like level up. Sonic gets like different ability, like he gets like the bounce bracelet back or whatever in like a certain number of levels. You can like
yeah.
You can get,
Can I
like,
just the
animal
one
party
thing
members,
I
don't
can
know.
about Sonic because it relates to Sonic Adventure 2, the bounce
Oh, okay.
bracelet.
The
I would
bounce
love to see
bracelet.
it back.
Oh,
All
yeah.
I do is just bounce on the chows. That's all I have to say.
That's
Apparently a lot of people were disappointed that he didn't have that move in Smash.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that actually would have been pretty fitting for Smash, to be honest.
Yeah.
It would have, but I don't know why that's a thing people got mad about.
Well, it's because they were fans of Sonic Adventure, and it was the only game they were a fan of.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could say that just for the whole like Sonic community. Honestly, like, okay, I downplayed that a bit earlier, but no, genuinely, because Sega really didn't have any major direction for Sonic to go in because they were retooling it so often. There are legitimately just like factions of the fan base for Sonic. Some fans only like Adventure, some fans only like Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog and 06. Some fans only like the classic games. Some fans only like the newest games, right?
That seems
Yeah.
healthy.
But that
They all have completely different ideas of what would make a good Sonic game, which is why you see so much dissent in the fandom, right? When no matter what Sega does, there will always be a large group of their fans saying that isn't what we want.
See, the thing is, that just sort of proves that Sega was going in the wrong direction from the beginning, because even though, like, the Mario series has, like, the platformers, or, like, the story-driven RPG, and, like, the Paper Mario thing, and they have all these, like, spin-offs with, like, Smash, and the sports games, and golf, and whatever.
Uh-huh.
If you see a Mario fan, they usually tend to like all of it, even though it's all so different, because it's got like the
Yeah.
same like stylization put into it, and like all the same little aspects that make it seem like a whole series of stuff. Meanwhile, some
Exactly.
like they'll throw out most of the characters for different games, and like that's fine to test, but you were testing stuff for like 30 years.
Yeah.
You were testing stuff for
exactly.
like the entirety of the time you were making video games.
Yeah, no, that's my big problem too, honestly.
I think it would have worked out better if they picked something, even if it's something shitty,
Well,
and with it, and like tried to make it better before they moved on to something else because they saw the reaction wasn't immediately good.
yeah. Well, I mean, didn't you just say that's why like you could appreciate that though?
Well, no, I can appreciate that like they were trying new stuff because a lot of people would like a lot of companies would just make the same game over and over if they saw it was successful.
Yeah.
But there's a point to that, I think, where you just
Yeah.
bite the bullet and like keep doing something even if people don't like it very much and see where it goes and maybe make something new out of that. Because
Mm-hmm.
the idea of Sonic Mania, I'm glad a lot of people got what they wanted, but it doesn't help Sega any because it was a fan creation and it's pretty much just like a carbon copy of like the first few games.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
don't
like
add a
it's-
whole lot, do they?
they-
Like, I mean, there's a few new levels, but the biggest complaint people had was that they didn't add a whole bunch of new stuff.
yeah,
New
that's
levels, yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just what I mean. Like they copied a bunch of the levels. A lot of like the mechanics are the same, even if they like built off of it differently. It's still very.
For me, okay, I get that. It wasn't designed as another Sonic game. It was designed as a test project for fan developers. Sega were very like iffy about them making a new game, so they wanted to do something that was
about? Really?
Yeah. Amazingly.
Well, have you seen some of the games fans make?
Yeah.
I think it's fair for them to be iffy about it.
Yeah, actually, the person who headed the Sonic Mania was Christian Whitehead, who had worked on porting the first 2 Sonic games over to iOS.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he changed a few things, such as adding certain moves. You can control tails. He changed a little bit of like the really bad, like infamously bad level designs. Like there was a pit in Mystic Cave Zone where if you fell down as Supersonic, you couldn't like die because it was just a pit of spikes and you couldn't jump out of it. And Supersonic is impervious to spikes, so you have to wait until your ring counter died,
and then you die,
or until the time ran out. Yeah, and then you just die. Yeah, amazing. So they removed that, and one of the things he did. One of the scrap levels for Sonic 2 was Hidden Palace Zone, which they actually retooled into a completely different level in Sonic 3. But he brought the original version of Hidden Palace back as a new level, and the entrance to that level is where that spike pit used to be. Yeah.
It's like the big FU to the old game.
yeah, seriously.
I'm better.
I think one of the things it also added was like camera panning, because a game about speed is kind of hard to play if you're trying to avoid obstacles when you have literally a microsecond to avoid said obstacle. And camera panning helped with that a lot.
Yeah, just a little bit,
Yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, the point is that the person who headed this was actually working for Sega for a while now. So I find it really strange that they were so careful about it.
There was the thing I was talking about, like a Sonic just like open world explorer thing, a la Breath of the Wild. It's because I saw this fan project. I don't know if it's ever finished. That someone made. It was just like open world Sonic, like a level.
Yeah, Sonic Utopia.
Yeah, that one where he was running around. I thought that looked cool, but it
it
sort of confined still. It didn't, or
I felt. Honestly, the thing you were saying about like how open Sonic should be, for me, I felt it was too open because I know it's a demo, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of it just felt really empty and soulless.
Oh no, it was really empty. No, I mean like fill it with stuff is the thing. Like Breath of the Wild, but then you play it and there's shit everywhere.
Yeah, well, see, for that, right? With Breath of the Wild, you're moving through the world at like the pace of either Link or a horse, right?
Yes.
Or a Epona. Like you're moving through it at a speed you can manage properly. Yes. A game about speed where you're running as Sonic needs to be both open enough to allow speed and closed enough so that you're not just running around in an open field endlessly.
Well,
so I feel like the space for it would have to be a lot more concise than something like Breath of the Wild.
Well, yeah, no, that's not. I didn't mean like exactly like Breath of the Wild or like that. Yeah. There are clearly problems with it. I just meant like do something open world, but make like a lot of branching paths and like a lot of levels. Like keep like shorter level design, but make it like you can find stuff or you can find items or like characters or I don't know anything. Just
I like
more room to run around. Instead of just like a set path on like a straight line, just like that's like every 3D Sonic game. They just put you on like a line in like level. And it's like it's so easy to fix. Just don't make straight levels anymore. Fix like half your problems. That's been
the level design since Sonic Unleashed. Honestly,
you guys are dumb.
I'd like to see again like Sonic Utopia. You haven't seen this in a Sonic game, even in Sonic Adventure. Or well, it was done better in Utopia for what little there was. I'd like to see more puzzle-oriented
Oh, yeah.
Speed or platform-based puzzles that allow you to progress through shorter levels. So, like for example, you'd be in a wide open space that you can run around and do things in, but in order to progress from that point onward, there would have to be a specific objective. So, like maybe there's a switch in an underground cave that you have to find. Right? That's not too far out of the way that you'd never find it, but just out of the way enough that exploration is rewarded.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Something like Odyssey. Let's make Sonic Odyssey.
Can we just like remake other better video games, but like make them Sonic? Like Sega, you've had like a really long time to like watch other people make good video games again. You can just like shit from that. You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, why do you think they're letting the fans make the games now?
Yeah, they gave up. Is what happened. They gave all the way up. You know what's actually really sad?
That's exactly how I see Mania and Forces. Mania was the game made by the fans, and Sega were just like, fine, you can make it, but we'll make our own game. And then they made their own game, and it was shit, and nobody liked it.
Yeah, of course. You know what makes me really sad, though?
What?
In my opinion, and this is probably because they're some of the only ones I ever played, the best Sonic games are the Olympic Games crossovers.
Oh, no.
Shut up, they're fun.
They were fun.
You just made a lot of people angry. That's what I'm saying. Oh no, over.
Good. They can be angry because I'm right. At least those games, like, they know what they want to be. They're streamlined enough so that, like, when they remake new ones, they add new things, but, like, it's still that serious. Whenever they keep making new Sonic shit, they, like, immediately throw everything out the window to bring in new elements. Because it didn't go well the last time, so they're like, well, okay, we have to start over. It's like, guys, learn from you're not learning from any of these mistakes, guys. Hello?
Guys. Actually,
no, keep on making them.
One thing that's one funny thing I've noticed a lot with Sega's games over the years is that they're not consistent with the games, but they're just slightly consistent enough that you can like sense a pattern in it all.
They all suck.
Like, well, shut up. I mean, you're not wrong, but still, shut up. So like with the first 4/5/6, the classic series, right? Mm-hmm. They all built up off of the same concept. Each game did add something new, like Tails or the Spin Dash or Knuckles or like levels, massive levels.
The 2D ones are like similar enough. Like that's not the problem. I'm talking about all.
No. The classics still have problems too, because like I said earlier, the issues of the issue of Sonic's identity crisis started in the classic era. So like they were consistent enough to make those original games, and then they retooled it into Sonic Adventure, and then they made Sonic Adventure 2, and then they remade Sonic Adventure 2 for the GameCube. And then they were like, we don't know what else to do, so let's try to make something different. And then they made Sonic Heroes. And then they said, okay, let's try to do something different again. So then they made 06 and like all the spin-off sagas. And
they gave Shadow a gun.
Yeah, the dark era. Yeah.
Yes.
And now they're on their like sort of third phase, the modern era, where everything from Unleashed forward, it all has a similar gameplay style, bad, shitty, corny writing. Like the same general plot of like Eggman being the villain until the very end, and then suddenly, oh no, it's someone else. Oh, who? But then it's actually Eggman again. Ooh, that was a Shyamalan twist. But yeah, so they're inconsistent enough for there to be like such a fractured fan base and nobody having any clue what Sonic should be, but just consistent enough that there are these little factions that can form. It's weird.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest problems I have is just the fact that they don't remake the gameplay in every game, because when you play them all, it's literally just like Sonic running on like these set 3-dimensional paths that are pretty much locked into like very short planar things. Just, I don't know, like levels and like a tower to run on. But the thing that gets everyone is like the style is weird, and then they throw in like really divorced stories. I don't actually know if like people actually the gameplay when they're playing, or if they just see how different and weird all these stories are, and they just think they're playing something radically different than Sonic on another platform in 3D running. and getting stuck on the wall. They give him like 2 new mechanics, but they're just sort of like, wow,
I'd say with
what to do.
the modern games, they're close enough that like a person playing it would be like, oh yeah, no, I want to play this to get the same feeling as Unleash / Colors / whatever first game they played in that era, right? But I really don't think anyone's listening to Sonic for the story.
Well, no, they're not
Just-
listening to Sonic for the story, but it's definitely a part that like gets into their head about it. Like,
yeah.
played Generations and people played Colors. Those seem like the story elements were like the most like the older games because they were. Colors was like completely environmental based from what I've heard, with like
Yeah.
things. So meaning I'm right. And then Generations was just the games anyway. But like when they start doing all this like realistic, weird, edgy shit with like real humans and stuff.
Oh my god, I love that.
That's a big enough impact to you for you to be like
the president's big ass hands in Shadow the Hedgehog.
the giant, just the biggest hands. But like Shadow the Hedgehog's gameplay is different because you're shooting things. But like every time I watch someone play like a 3D Sonic, it just mostly looks like the main mechanic is running in like a selected 3D plane, and they'll either give you like the werewolf thing, or like
the werewolves or the wisps. Yeah.
The wisps, or you'll have like the tradable party like in not Forces. Oh my god, I'm already confused. Rise of Liberty.
Yeah.
Party members in that, and they're slightly different, but not. You got like the whip thing that you can hold on, the grapple. That's what that is. And I don't even know what the hell you do in Forces. You have a new character. That's your.
You play as an OC. You play as modern Sonic, and you play as classic Sonic. Like
they change up enough so that the gameplay is like different, but at its core, it's just something that no one likes, which is just like repetitive running and repetitive level design that isn't all that good, and stories that don't make any sense. And
well, yeah, you've stumbled back on my point.
I did stumble back on your point. I don't even know what my own point was. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, what I think Sega should do, and I think this is also gonna make people mad, they need to stop, because whenever you hear someone talk about Sonic, they're like, what Sega needs to do is they need to haul Sonic. They need to completely overhaul it and try something new. No, they don't.
That's all they've done. Yeah.
That's all they've done. They need to look back on their collection and take input from fans, which they definitely don't do at all. You can tell.
Actually, okay. Sorry, keep going.
Like, you can say they do, but they keep like making weird decisions that no one would really expect. That like it's like by pitching their fans. I don't mean like actually do that. I mean like go through all the stuff and like pick out aspects that people didn't think were like totally bad, and then implement them in a new game. And then really like keep going in
that direction. Yeah.
Just keep like don't even like even if your sales are failing, go.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that.
Anything.
I say the one part I guess is just like for me, Sega listens to the fans too much, but they don't deliver
I want to make
properly.
my own character.
Like okay, Sonic 4, I purposely avoided mentioning that earlier. Sonic 4 was supposed to be, as the name implies, a continuation of the classic series, right?
Wasn't that one more recent?
Yes, it was far more recent. Yeah.
It was like 2012 is what it showed up when I was Googling all of them. I was like, that's
yeah. God, I think it was an iOS game, and it came in 2 parts.
That was their first mistake. There you go.
Yeah, episode 1 and 2. But you could tell Sega gave it over to Dimps in order to complete the project, and Dimps is the team. Dimps, yeah, DIMPS. Dimps is the company that was responsible for the handheld Sonic games, so Sonic Advance 1, 2, 3, Sonic Rush 2. And the handheld versions of Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. But at some point, I think after Rush, they made them make Sonic 4, and they told Dimps to make, essentially what they told Dimps to do was make it so that the fans would like it. Just copy and paste everything from the classic series.
You can't just say that.
Yeah.
That's not how anything works.
Exactly. So Sega listens to its fans, but not smartly, not in a constructive way.
I was gonna say no, that's not what I mean when I say listen to your fans, because your fans. Let me be honest, Sega. Your fans, they're idiots. Most of them are idiots.
Yeah. Thank you.
They're like, most of them are entitled and they know what they want and they're gonna scream about it. Ignore
whiny children.
When I say listen to your fans, I mean like look at your sales revenue and like what like actual reviews say about it, like constructive reviews from intelligent people, and like look at like successful games that have come out that are similar to yours and see what they did correctly.
Why would you want to do something logical like that?
You know what?
You're right.
Even then, I think they'd have. I'd say even then, I think they'd have one little problem. And okay, this isn't a problem for any video game company ever. This is just brain dead, no duh. What I'm about to say.
Okay.
But the point I made earlier about the fact that no one really knows what a Sonic game should be. What the fuck? What the fuck is a Sonic? Sorry. You see how my brain works? It's just like you mentioned JonTron or Game Grumps, and I'm just completely sidetracked. So yeah, there are all these different concepts for what Sonic should be, and there are some things that objectively make a good game, some things that objectively don't, and a lot of those things that objectively do could be used to make a good Sonic game if Sega got their head out their asses and put together a team that would actually listen to good constructive criticism. But there are also a lot of concepts in that pile that clash. And I mean, of course, you'd have to pick and choose which one. But I believe those concepts, I mean, I haven't looked into this so deeply as to actually have a real good answer about it. But a lot of the things that are in that pile of objectively good things that would make a good game that you could put together to create a good Sonic game would be completely juxtaposing itself at some points. And when they would have to pick or choose one, you'd still end up with a fractured fan base. So I don't know if it'd be beneficial to them because they'd still be cutting off an arm.
So I hear is you want a mass genocide of Sonic fans.
Yes.
Yeah. Just kill them all off, please.
Well, please. Immediate, as quickly as possible if you can, actually. No.
Yeah, seriously.
That's not what I'm saying. When I talk about like a good game, I don't care about what the Sonic fan base says. I don't really. I'm gonna be real with you. Because no. Just big no. But like when you say there's like a bucket of game ideas in the floor, and like some are good and some are bad, I disagree with you. I think that if you actually have like a really good team of people who are passionate about their work, they can take an idea that sounds bad and can make it good with enough like polish and effort and their own creative ideas. It's not like,
but this is Sega we're talking about.
This is Sega, and like maybe they shouldn't overhaul like Sonic as a concept. Maybe they should overhaul like their own team and just like actually seek out people who have these, like seek out more fan people, like the people who made Sonic Mania and people who have like a connection to this series, like positive connection, not like whiny baby connection, who actually are known in the industry.
Every time you say that, I imagine a 12-year-old with a DeviantArt account.
That's what all Sonic fans are.
Yep.
My goal is to make as many people hate me as possible. I don't know if you realize that yet. I'd like to hope I'm doing a good job.
Have we made that clear?
I can make it clearer.
Can we?
Probably not. How do I make people hate me more? I want all the hatred. But no, it's just, like, I don't know, man. I'm not like a professional game designer. It's not my job here on this podcast to tell them how to do their jobs. I just think that like it's kind of clear that they had a bunch of they had and still have a bunch of confused people on their team with the right intentions, but maybe not like the right skill set or the right frame of mind or like enough teamwork to actually make something coherent. Not necessarily like great, just something decent, something better.
I mean, like the classic series.
You can't go further down than where you've been going.
Oh yeah, you can't go much further down than Boomer 06, buddy.
In conclusion,
Now they have to prove you wrong. I hope you realize that.
God, let's see you try.
Depends how bad the RPG is.
Oh boy, you're gonna be in for a treat.
I'm gonna love it.
You know what? Actually, hold on. I'm gonna find that now. You can listen to it later. I need to show you that music.
Oh boy.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're gonna love it. It's so good.
Oh, I will. You know for a fact that I just.
And apparently, it's just like a normal town theme. It's the final boss theme from Sonic 3, and it's just like a normal ass town that you spend some time walking around in.
Wow.
It sounds
How
amazing.
I know, right? You took
I hope
this great
it's
piece
like-
of music and broke it, and then put it over the most ill-fitting area
I was
ever.
gonna say it sounds like you're making it sound like there's gonna be some like really intense boss fight and they ripped and they just put in a nice town.
Oh god. Yeah, no, that's exactly it, honestly.
Yeah!
I should play the original first, just in case. Just so you get the actual taste of what it's like.
Oh, thank God, I'll have to listen
but
to it afterwards, but
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that'll be for later.
I cannot wait.
God. Oof.
Sounds like a train wreck.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I saw review it. Who was it? Shoot. It wasn't Ant Dude, I don't think. It was one of those like third party like review
Third party.
reviewers. Yeah. The ones who are like semi-famous that you might know. But,
Yeah,
like,
the ones that
nobody
show up in
really
your-
knows all of them.
The ones that show up in your recommended list with like 100-something thousand views, and you're like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Oh man. Alex, do you have anything to add to all this? I've been sort of keeping
what's
you
a
out
Sonic?
the whole time.
What the fuck is a Sonic?
I feel bad. I said we were gonna do this topic, and I knew you didn't have much to say, so I hope
Oh yeah.
you're interested in the conversation.
Yeah, I was listening. I got to hear some good points, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
You guys did all right.
Well, you're the
Dude,
game
Alex, if you
design
had to-
dudes.
Yeah, Alex, if you rated this, if you had to rate this episode, how would you rate it?
Like a solid 3.
Out of what?
I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Cliffhanger, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
If we're bringing this to a close, and you don't have to say a whole lot about this if you don't want to, since you're the game design guy, I kind of wonder what your stance would be on like what they should do.
If you had to make Sonic in your own way, how would you do it?
First, I might have to actually play a Sonic. That might be helpful to kind of.
That
Figure
would,
stuff out.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Yeah, it's just one of those things you have to experiment with, I guess, and that's clearly what they've been doing.
Oof.
Okay, how about this? If you were told to make a game with like a generally popular IP, and the game was about speed, that's it. If those were the only two things you had to go off of, what type of game would you think to make from that?
Don't
That's
say
called
racing.
Speed Racer.
Yeah, Speed Racer, nice.
Don't make it a racing game.
Honestly, I would go for F-Zero. I'm being totally honest.
Wait, you would actually do an F-Zero Sonic game?
Captain Falcon. Oh,
I'm pretty
please.
sure that's what Sonic All-Stars Racing is trying to be anyways.
It's trying its best.
Yeah, it's
It's-
trying real hard.
Giving an effort.
Really
It's
going for
trying.
it.
I need you guys to look at the Eggman that I've put in
I've
the
been looking at it.
Yeah, I know. Like, clearly there is only one master design here.
chat. The very first one, you're right.
Yeah.
He's
The
sleeping.
sleepy one.
He's
So
sleeping. God, that
I-
Sonic 06 design looks a lot worse than I remember.
Every time I see him, he looks like he's made of just like he's made of all of the skin that's on the balls of like a dog.
Chest nipples and everything. They look like cannons.
Seriously. Nipple cannons.
Nipple cannons.
Can I just like really fast? I want to talk about how Sonic was designed specifically, because you said this earlier that you like Sonic's like design.
I do.
The specific wording that Yuji Naki gave about Sonic's personality was that he had the personality of Bill Clinton. which is probably just the worst way you could possibly phrase that.
Oh my god, they're so...
How is that like the first thing you go to? You're like, oh, yeah, Bill Clinton. He's my main character.
Remember,
oh my god, there's so many
back
jokes.
In the 90s, before the scandals, where he was considered a really good president.
Bill Clinton is my OC.
I'm so happy right now.
God, his shoes were designed after Michael Jackson. The colors came from Santa Claus.
What?
I thought the colors just came from like the primary color scheme.
Yeah, I mean, kinda, yeah. But like specifically, it's been stated that the red and white were from Santa Claus. I always thought it was just to look like the American flag, honestly.
That too.
Red, white, and blue, yeah.
America.
Yeah, and Eggman was designed to look like Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh my god.
So, Bronson, can you do a Sonic voice?
Sonic voice? Well, which Sonic?
Like the most hyperactive Sonic there is.
That's no good!
Okay, I'm gonna type something in your DMs and I'm gonna need you to say it.
Oh god, okay.
This can only be good.
Great. Wonder what this could be now. Oh god. I can do it in a Clinton voice too, you know?
No, I need it in Sonic.
Okay. Ready? Here we go. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Remember, if someone tries to touch you in a place you don't want to be touched, that's no good.
Thank you for my life.
You're welcome.
I was gonna do it myself, but I can't do Sonic's.
I hope everyone clips that.
I'm gonna clip it for my ringtone.
Thank God. Oh, Lord.
That has to be like a notification tone. That can't be a ringtone.
You're right. I gotta put that as like the sound you get for like donations on Twitch or something.
Oh no.
Oh my God. No, whenever someone tells me they want to put like a really funny sound on their phone, I just imagine the worst case scenario of like you're in a doctor's office with your significant other and they're like dying from some like really fatal disease, and the doctor comes out and he's like, "I'm sorry, but I just have to tell you about something," and like the phone goes off. I did not have sexual relationships with that woman.
No, you know what? Even better.
What?
Even better. You're sitting in church.
Oh no!
Oh.
No, hold on.
Padre, Espiritu Sancto, Ilma, gotta go fast!
No, hold on. You're sitting in church. You're in like the front row. The preacher's talking, and your phone goes off. Your toes, hand them over.
Oh my God, the Monokuma voice. Your toes, hand them over.
Why?
On that note.
No, we can't end on that, please.
This has been your Brain on Games podcast.
Can we just skip the Game Creator Studio segment? I'm not gonna be able to do that.
God.
Could just cut it so it's that. Oh, I don't even care anymore. I'm dead on the inside.
Here's our Game Creator Studio. Ready? It's a new Sonic game, but you're Sonic in the White House and you're Bill Clinton.
Oh, no.
See, it's fitting because he can't survive in water.
Oh my God.
Amy, what the hell?
What? I'm a genius?
What were you making a reference to with the water?
Watergate?
That's Nixon.
Oh, man. You know what? He could be Nixon, too. No, Knuckles is Nixon. I'm saying that.
God.
I don't know my
God.
presidents. I live in the U.S. I don't know it. They're all white.
I'm not a crook.
I am not. He's not a. They're all presidents, and Amy is Hillary Clinton.
Click Amy in a pantsuit, please.
Eggman's Donald Trump, and that's the game.
God.
You're welcome.
That's the game. The end. Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I can't believe you confused Clinton and Watergate.
What you think I know my presidents? They taught me that in like 4th grade, and I forgot immediately. Because that Animaniac song wasn't as catchy as the one for the States, so...
How dare you?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I know all of the... I know like half of Animaniac songs off by heart. I like that show.
I know
Weird.
0 of them.
Did we end the podcast yet?
No,
Oh.
Oh.
we're still talking. Do you want to close it out?
I mean, does it matter at this point?
At this point, really? Can we...
I mean, I guess not, but like I usually say your names again, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for
Welcome.
listening to your
Welcome.
Games.
We just started.
We just started. I haven't been recording any of that, actually. We're starting.
Oh my god. We're going to have to do it all over again. Say, thank you for watching the Your Rant on Games podcast. I've been Bronson.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Exit.
It's still...
I've been in mortal terror.
Oh my god. Amy, speak.
Okay, I'm still thinking about Bill Clinton's song.
I'm glad you got a kick out of that.
Especially now.
I'm just imagining that scene in Sonic Adventure 2 where, in Shadow the Hedgehog, where the president has that framed picture of Sonic and Shadow. I'm just picturing that with Bill Clinton.
One day.
One day. Just like old times.